Thanks for coming, man. Really appreciate everything you're doing for the community right now. I really wanted to give you a huge shout out. I know like the people of Bell Gardens really appreciate you, and you've been a role model in our community. So just thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm honored to be here with you guys. Honestly, when I heard about your project, it was moving to me. I really wanted to do something for the community, and I just didn't know what.
Yeah.
When you reached out, it was just perfect timing. Everything was just perfect.
Yeah. No, hell yeah, man. Thanks so much. And want to go ahead and get started, and just really want to talk about your experiences. I think you have a lot to offer, a lot to say, and I think this could be a little bit of a, I guess, like of a little, I guess, experience for kids that they could listen to you, for parents that they could listen to you a little bit when you share your experience. And I think they could learn a lot from your memories and a lot of the stuff that you've been through.
Yeah.
So just talk to me a little bit. So the passion for football, like, where did it start? Where was the beginning of it?
So when I first started, I started when I was 6 years old, pretty young. I started messing around with the skateboard. I was really into just skateboard, Tony Hawk era. I was just
Tony Hawk video
games. I was just into that, and my father played soccer, so he was like one of semi-pro. He was really good.
Here or back in?
He played here. He played third division here, fourth division. So he was around soccer. He was a defender. He was really into just playing, and he used to take us to his games, and
he was an aggressive player.
Aggressive. He was a defender, stocky little guy,
Yeah.
And wasn't into it. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna put you three. I have two brothers. Two brothers, and they were like, oh well, we're gonna take you to a team, just a regular team, and it was Chivas BG. So
Team MBG in Bell Gardens.
Yeah, it was in Bell Gardens, and so I got there. I hated it. I hated practicing. I was horrible. Didn't like anything about it, and the first game was it was nerve. I was nervous. It was something.
So you're almost like forced to go, like a little bit.
I was being forced to go.
Yeah.
But I scored a goal, one of my first goals, and it was just like that feeling of everybody, hyping you up, hugging you, telling you did really good. It was just a drug to me, and I just from there I just kept working hard. I was like, you know what, I love this feeling of being, being able to give people joy, and ever since that, I just worked every single day. And I had a father that was very supportive, a mother. He used to take me shine, rain, snowing
So he worked you
every day. Every single day. And that's why I'm the player that I was back then, because of my father. He pushed me.
That's dope. That's dope. So the passion started with him, and it seems like you really enjoyed the whole celebrating a goal, people cheering for you.
Yeah.
So obviously, you've played. Stevie, you've played. U17 World Cup, represented U.S. soccer back in 2011 in Mexico, and then you played in Xolos, right, for the reserves and for the first team. Then you played for Dorados, right? Won with Dorados, and got to be promoted to first division with Dorados. You were part of that team, and you're a huge piece of that. And then you played with Atlante, so like a lot of like really good, historic teams at a high level. Like Atlante is a pretty well-known team in Mexico, right? Yeah. So you have all that experience. So you're telling me that your passion came from seeing, people seeing your goals and like you celebrating, be like kind of almost the center of attention. So how was that feeling when you got to score in front of thousands of people? Like you scored at a World Cup, you scored, for Dorados, you scored for Xolos. Like what was it like being seen by so many people at that point? Going back at the park and then now at a stadium, like how was that feeling for you?
It's unreal. Yeah. Honestly, it's something that it's really hard to explain. what you feel. It's just all that hard work, all those days that I walked to the field with my mother holding the chairs and stuff.
The chairs, the park chairs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Like that was all like that moment.
Yeah.
And it was just unreal to me. It was just an accomplishment that I'm like really, really proud of that. Yeah.
And it's loud, right? That's what I get. That's what
Really
a lot of
loud,
people tell me when they play, and they play in front of a lot of people.
Loud, yeah.
Were you nervous, or what was the first game that you could say like, oh damn, I made it, or I'm at a different level now than playing locally?
I think it was just the World Cup, the first game in the World Cup against Republika Czeka. It was just unreal being in the tunnel. Just about
what stadium was that?
It was Santos.
Torreon. Oh, okay. It was new too
and
around that
time. It's crazy because my mother's from Torreon.
Oh shit!
So
yeah.
she was raised in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's good. And that was a very new stadium at that point in time.
It was new, yes.
Yeah, it was a very new. Did she go? Did your parents go?
Yeah, they all went. My brothers, everyone went, yeah.
And did you celebrate with them when you scored that game,
I
right?
scored, yeah, and it was Father's Day.
Oh,
so man. I did a little heart when I scored.
Yeah, I think we could actually I'll put up the video so then if people could do it, we could kind of watch it real quick, but then we could also put it up. It's this one, right? I could just put it here. Let me see. I know I have it here. So it's this one, right?
Again, Adio's pullback. Esteban Rodriguez.
Yeah, little heart, yeah.
So that's probably like the goal that's cemented. And you're like, okay, now this is something like special.
It's special, yeah. And it's. I think it was more because it was just a World Cup. I played on bigger stages than that, like bigger crowds, like qualifiers. I played in Jamaica against Jamaica. I believe it was a final.
In Kingston, was it?
In Kingston, yeah.
Kingston, yeah, that's what they have.
And we won the tournament. We were the first U17 national team to win that competition.
From U.S. Soccer?
From U.S. Soccer.
Oh, U.S. Soccer had never won it?
Never won it for U17.
Okay, cool.
So we're the first ones.
So, and you played every single minute, right?
Every single minute, yeah.
How did that feel? Like, how do you go from being a kid in BG that, his dad is kind of managing the team, and you're kind of playing locally? How did that happen? Like, I want to understand. Obviously you were good enough to make it happen.
Yeah.
But what was that moment where you were approached, and who were you approached by?
So I was playing with Chivas BG for a while, and my father came across somebody that was representing one of the number one teams in the U.S., which was Italia, CFC Italia.
Was it academy?
No, it was just a regular team.
It was just a club.
A regular team, but it was ranked number one of the nation. Like they were.
And where were they based from here?
They were based on Huntington Beach.
Oh, HB. Okay, cool.
So I got a tryout. They loved me. And they got me in, and it was after that we played very important tournaments like State Cup, National Cup, which we won. Like, I think State Cup we won 4 times. Nationals we won 4 times. Regionals we won 3 times. So it was just getting more eyes on the team and for myself, and I got invited for ODP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
someone approached you, or did they approach your dad? Or
they approached my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember walking after practice for Chivas VG. My dad and I used to talk about ODP. Like, I was like, "What's ODP?" Oh, this is like where all the best players go from California. I was like, I want to be there one day. And that little accomplishment was just amazing. It's a long progress. It's a process of making the ODP team, and then after that you gotta you're competing against like 150 players.
They're all going. Do you guys go to where is this take place at?
Orange County.
Orange County. Do they is it like a camp in a way?
It's a camp. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's 2 weeks. So it's Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So it's about 150 kids, and only 40 make it.
And you're just like training. You're just
Training,
like
yeah.
doing
They
drills,
do like
exercises.
little drills, little clinics and little stuff like that. And I made it. And after that, we compete against those 40 to make the actual team, which is the ODP team, which is 26 players.
And what does the ODP team do? So I'm assuming you made the 26, right? You made the 26.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And like, what does that ODP team do?
So it's just basically it's a process of you going from ODP to regionals. The regional team, there's 4 regional teams. So ODP, we play against Cal North, a bunch of teams from the state, and then after that we become one regional.
Okay.
So we'll be like Cal North and Cal South, because we're Cal South. We'll become regional. We're regional 4. And we had four teams, 4 regionals.
Okay.
And after that we went to Massachusetts, and that's when the national team was their scouting,
kind of like recruiting.
So
now these kids are already playing in these different.
So it was about like 120 kids at Massachusetts just competing for a 36 roster.
Oh, okay.
So for the national team.
And you made that.
I made that. Yeah, I made that.
How'd you find out you made that?
Email. They sent
so you were trialing for
it
this.
Was a trial. All those it was just trial.
All that's camps, ODP, all that's just a trial,
everything.
and then they just send you an email. Like, what did the email say?
They say, "Oh, congratulations, you've been selected for the U14 national team."
Oh, okay. And your dad got that email.
He got that email.
And then how did he show you?
No, he just it was a surprise.
Was it like they surprised you?
They surprised me, yeah.
Oh, how did that go? I want to know about that.
Honestly, it was just he came home one day, he was happy, really happy, and we're having dinner. He was like, "Look here. Yeah, this is what hard work gets you." And it was surreal to me, like, from competing against almost 300 kids to finally making that squad was just.
It was just like a good feeling, right?
It was amazing.
Everyone celebrated at the table, kind of like
happy. Like my friends, everyone's just.
It's really happy for you.
Couldn't believe it, yeah.
Your brothers too, all that kind of stuff.
They're really proud.
Yeah, cool. So that's really nice, actually. So then that happens, right? So then now you get selected for the U14. Where do you go from there?
So after the U14,
because you were just a kid, like you're what, 13 years old?
13 years.
You're 13, right?
Yeah.
So you're 13. You're going to like junior high. You're in middle school.
Yeah.
And like, how does that feel like to be able to represent your entire country at that age? Like, is there any pressure that you felt, or like, did you just feel good, or did you feel like, oh my God, now I have to really like step it up even more now? Like how did that go in your mind as a kid?
When you're young, you just want to play. I love playing. It was something that I didn't really pay attention to, like the stats and all that outside noise.
Yeah.
I just love playing, and by me doing that and not overthinking the whole situation, because you could easily lose yourself, like going to middle school and representing the national team, like it's something that not a lot of kids could say.
Yeah.
And for me, it just kept it always a regular kid, always private, always.
Nobody knew in school, or
they knew, but it was just I always stayed with the same crowd. Never had a big head, and I was that's what helped me, and my friends really kept me on the ground. Yeah. And my family too.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool, and that's awesome that you say that. And then you're representing the U14s. And then how do you get from that development? Like, let's just say U14 to the U17 World Cup. How was that development? How was that entire process? Was it like constant trials, constant camps? Camps?
Yeah, it was just camps. We'll get invited.
And who were you playing with at that time? Like, who were you playing with? Like, who was your team?
I was still playing for CFC Italia.
Oh, that was your club, and then you would just go to the camps whenever they held them.
Just come back and play with CFC Italia.
Okay.
So after that it was just the next level was U15. crazy about it is I only went to one camp. After that, they never called me back to the U15 camps.
So you didn't get called back. You didn't make the team.
I didn't make the team. You know, and it was a moment for me to. It was a test for me to, like, you know, give up and not try no more, or just keep working and having fun. And later on, I know I'll get called back, and that's what happened. CFC Italia became Cosmos. Cosmos. We started playing for Cosmos, and then Cosmos became Chivas USA.
Oh, okay.
And so I started playing Chivas USA Academy.
Oh, okay. That's when Chivas USA, the whole thing happened, came to be back like in 05, 06, was it?
Yeah, around there.
Okay, so then you started playing for Chivas USA.
I started playing for Chivas USA, and then we went to this tournament in Arizona, I believe. It was all the academy teams, and that's where the scouts were at for the national team. And I remember just, you know,
tearing it up,
playing really
you were
good.
on a mission.
Yeah, I was honestly I just wanted to prove them wrong, you know. I always see, like, if somebody doesn't believe in me, somebody says I can't do it, it motivates me even more to do it. And maybe 2 weeks after I got called to the U17.
So it was a tournament.
It was a tournament, yes.
And then did you guys win it, or
no?
You guys didn't win it.
No.
But, like, did anybody there contact you at all?
Yeah.
Oh, someone told you.
So basically, that tournament is, you know, all the academy teams go, and then they scout players from those teams to play all-star team. So we play against each other. So they bring all the best players in that same tournament, and we'll play, and that's when they'll start scouting those players. And that's how I got scouted to the U17 national team. Crazy, because the U17 national team, like my age, already started the program. Like they're already
prepping for the World Cup.
They're already 6 months in. So I started 6 months after. So when I got there, the team was already made. So I was just trying out.
You were just trying out with them. They already had their team. Yeah. They were just, and then this was like, what year was this already? We fast forward, or like 2009, around there.
Yeah, around there.
Around there, because the World Cup was
2011.
Because they were prepping for the
World Cup. Yeah.
So the World Cup is in the summer. I think it's in June. They did it in June.
I believe June. Yeah.
2011. When did you have that trial? Approximately like 6 months before the World Cup?
No, it was like a year and a half.
A year and a half? Oh, before. Yeah. Okay. So it's a long process that they had.
It's a 2-year process.
Okay, and then so you go there. You get an email 2 weeks later, right?
I get an email saying that you've been selected, and I go for a week trial to Florida, Bradenton, Florida, and all my friends from the U14 were there.
So then you kind of met back up with them.
Yeah, I kind of.
I'm back, kind of thing, like
sort of like that, but just like they already had their team. They already had.
Did you feel like an outcast and stuff?
I kind of did.
You're like, they probably thinking that I'm not supposed to be here or something.
Yeah, so I just I played. I didn't think much of it. I just did what I did, and the coach put me on the side. He's like, hey, like, you're gonna stay. You're gonna be part of this team, and that it was Wilmer Cabrera.
Wilmer Cabrera, okay. Yeah. Who did he play for?
He played for Colombia.
Oh, okay.
He was a Colombian.
So he was Colombian. He played for Colombia, and he was right here. He was the coach for the U17. Is he the coach that took you guys to the World Cup?
Yeah, he's the one that took us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then he tells. So that's actually might be like, it's like a nice feeling, right? Like for the coach to pull you to the side and be like, "Hey, you're coming with us." Like,
yeah.
Put in the work.
It was unreal to me. I was happy, crying. I called my parents right away.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a big move to me, because
you had to move, right?
I had to move from Bell Gardens to Palmdale. My dad wanted a better life for us out from Bell Gardens. Back then it was really
tough,
really tough.
Yeah.
And we moved out there. I went to school over there to Highland, and I only went 2 months. Which I didn't meet anybody. I was just
kind of doing your own thing, little shy kid. And
I was with my brother, my younger brother. eating a sandwich all the way in the corner, away from everybody.
You guys were all like just kind of
just
hanging
sitting
out.
down, just nobody knew that I play soccer. Nobody, never told anyone.
Yeah.
And getting that call to go to Florida, to live in Florida, was just a big relief to me.
And you went alone?
Alone.
Oh,
so I
okay.
was 14 years old.
So how is that process, man? Like you're 14 and you're just like you're not living with your parents, your family. Like how hard is that?
Homesick.
Yeah.
That the first 2 weeks was just brutal to me. Like
Yeah.
I really wanted to go back.
You miss the frijolitos and
Everything, just a home meal. My
Yeah.
mom, her food is amazing. So like missing that, her always taking care of me, because she was a housewife, a house mom. So she was always like on us.
Yeah.
And always paid attention to us. And after that, it was just I started to get to know every single one of my teammates, and I loved it.
That was cool.
It was one of the best moments of my career.
And how long were you there in Florida for? Living there?
A year and a half. So after the World Cup, right after the World Cup, we all flew home.
So you guys all like it's a concentration
Every
camp
day.
for 1 year and a half.
Yeah.
Just training every day, prepare.
Every day they provide a school. We went to a private school, and our own teachers. So we were like excluded from
Public school, yeah. Like
public school, we could say regular people.
Yeah.
We had 4 teachers. Those 4 teachers were just our teachers. And we used to practice in the morning, go to school, come back, eat, and then we will go to study hall at night. And that was our day.
And how hard is that? Because a lot of kids, like I had a normal, I guess you could say, like education, like experience, right? So I was like, going to public school and all this kind of stuff. Did you miss that at that point? Like just being with your homies, like just being with your friends, just hanging out, kicking it, like although you were with your friends, but I'm assuming it's not the same experience as you were like to be in a public school,
It's just a different lifestyle, because you go from a public school to just it was a private Catholic school. So they were very strict on us tucking in our shirts, wearing a polo, khakis.
Yeah, it was a whole
It's different from wearing Dickies, long sleeve, and some chucks and stuff. Going to that was just a big change, but it's a sacrifice you have to make to make it to that next level you
wanted that life
of course, yeah.
So then you go forward a year and a half. You're at the World Cup. You play against Czech Republic, right? The first game.
Czech Republic, yes.
So how was that like first experience? Your family's there. You're in Torreon. Your mom is from Torreon. Big stadium. You played every single minute of the qualifiers. There's like, but arguably probably the best player on the squad, right? Because you're the only one that played all those minutes. Yeah. Well, how was that feeling? Hearing the national anthem. And now that it reminds me, actually, before I say the national anthem, could you ever play for Mexico or no? Like, was that an option? Did they ever look for you, or was it just like straight up U.S.?
It was an option.
Yeah.
I believe when I was 14 years old, before I was already with the U14 national team for the U.S.
Yeah.
They came. They had a little camp for like a little tryout, and never closed that door, because you never know. What happened with the U15. I was going, and then I don't know where they stopped calling me. So I was just, I'm gonna try. So they invited me to go to CAR, which is over there in Mexico City.
Centro Alto Rendimiento, right? Centro de Alto Rendimiento.
Yeah. So I was there for almost 2 weeks, and that's where I met like most of the players that won the U17 World Cup.
Oh, because they won it in Mexico. That's the World Cup. Yeah. And it was hot out there, right?
Really
hot. It was like high altitude. Did you feel? Do you feel
right
that?
away? Yeah, right away.
You had to get used to it.
Going from Florida, that was humid, sea level, to high level, which is
altitude. Yeah. And how did that go? Those 2 weeks there with them? Were they like interested? Anything like?
Mexico was just always a really good team. They always were up there for the World Cups, and
At that level too. At that level, they're always there. They won it.
Always. And I just didn't like the them being organized. They weren't that organized before. So the U.S. was like, they'll spoil you.
Constant communication.
Always.
Like they give you a nice little program. Everything's always. Like
paid. Everything was paid. Everything was that lifestyle of Mexico was just, you got to be independent.
Yeah.
And I kind of wasn't ready for that in a way, because
you're
going
14.
from 14 years old,
No.
And that, later on in life, that's when, after the World Cup, after all that, signing for Xolos, that's when I was like, I'm independent now. I'm able to hold it down myself.
And what do you think now? Like, so, nowadays there's just a lot more kids like you, born here in America, Mexican parents, first, second generation, whatever. They have the decision to either play for Mexico or the U.S. As things develop, and as U.S. soccer is developing, obviously there's going to be better players, right? So I think we're coming to a point now where there are much better players potentially now than there was before, because there's more support, there's more resources, there's more attention. Yeah. So what does that mean? That means that there's a lot more, I guess, Latino or Latina players, right? Yeah. That are going to have that option. So do you think a lot of those kids are going to choose Mexico over the U.S., although they're American born? Or do you think that, like, a lot of these kids are just going to want to go play for Mexico because that's where they're from, that's their culture?
So a lot of people do it because exactly where they were born. I kind of, that was one of the things I chose the U.S. for over Mexico, because
you're born
I'm
here.
from here, and even though my parents are Mexican, and it would have been nice for me. It was just, I was born here. I gotta represent the country I was born.
Okay, so do you think a lot of those kids are gonna, like, go ahead and just start, like, digging in that mindset more or less? Because a lot of the Mexican scouts now, they're here because they could get I was reading an article about it, and like a lot of the Mexican scouts, they're here because they want to get all this talent that potentially they're losing out on. Yeah. But I mean, I just think U.S. soccer right now, from a development standpoint, I think they're just invested in that for the last few years, the last 10 years. Like you're telling me right now, the investment that they made in you guys. Yeah. And I don't think Mexico has that. So I think these kids might be more inclined to not represent Mexico and start representing the U.S.
The U.S. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's actually, I think the new players. Well, there's like Julian Araujo, right? He chose Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
I think there's a few others. There's like this other guy, Sendejas, right? Yeah. He's actually on the U.S. He's like,
and all those players usually pick Mexico because they played in Mexico for a young age. Mm-hmm. So going from playing MLS to going to play the Mexican national team is really hard, but if you play in the Mexican league since you were 14 years old to 20, obviously the decision is a little bit more easier for you. Yeah. Going more to Mexico than to the US, even though you're American.
Yeah. All right, makes sense. And so now you're at the World Cup, starting Torreon, Father's Day, your mom's hometown. How was that feeling?
That feeling was just, unreal to me. It was just the tunnel was just butterflies. It's just
you just kind of wanted to start
right away. It's just overthinking about like every memory, everything I had, like about like all that sacrifice my parents made, and now seeing them, in the stands cheering you on for one of like a kid's dream, the World Cup. The World Cup was just everyone's dream. Yeah, every kid's dream. And
you score.
Scored.
You score the goal, right?
Scored. Yeah.
Score the goal. Point at them. And how was that?
Amazing. Yeah. Honestly, I wasn't really a scorer. I was more like assisting and making good plays and always helping out the team. And to get a goal like that in that stage
was dope.
Amazing, yeah.
And then you guys, like, out of that world, it's obviously like the best players in the world at that day and age, right? What were like some of the best players that you played against?
I played against Emir Can.
He's at Dortmund now?
He's at Dortmund. He played for Bayern. A couple German players, Mexican players also, like Spericueta, Julio Gomez,
Carlos
Fierro, Pollo Briseño.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of those players. Yeah, so
it's a good experience to be around those. So.
Yeah.
And now going back to it, so you guys lose to Germany, right? Like, how hard was that game? It was 3-0? 3-0, right?
3-0. We lost 3-0, yeah. It was
how tough was that game? What happened? What went wrong that game?
I just remember it was everything. Honestly, the field was wet. It was raining. It was slippery.
It's in Querétaro, you told me?
It was in Querétaro. Yeah. The field was really bad. And we didn't have one of our key players. And, it was a lot of factors that,
And they're a good team.
It was, honestly, they're just a better team than us.
Yeah.
And,
they lost the semifinal to Mexico, right? That was a semifinal.
Yeah.
I mean, so you guys lost to one of the contenders. So exactly. It's not bad. So, all right, so that's done. U17 World Cup, you live your dream. I think I was in high school, right, when you were doing that. So, when I came to high school, it was all about like Hector Jimenez because he's in the MLS. He was a BG alumni. And then when I'm there, you're like 2 years older than me. You're in the national team. You're representing, and we're all watching the World Cup in the summer. And I just remember it was like you were like such a huge role model for us. And having someone from BG, I could tell you something like. I could tell you that everybody in the program in BG, like at least from the high school standpoint, everybody that was playing like in the area, almost to a certain extent felt honored. Like, oh damn, there's someone like us doing big things like that. So you did motivate a good amount of us, and I just want you to know that's actually it was a nice feeling seeing someone like us be in that stage. And I remember you come to school. I didn't know you already, but I think I'm waiting. I'm sitting down. It's like by this like gym area, and our locker room is right there. I think you were walking towards the locker room, and I didn't know who was here, but I just see like freaking 30-40 kids just walking together, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, who are they around? Like, are all around someone, and it's you. And I remember I sound like, oh, that's the guy that's at the national team. But I remember seeing like you were like a celebrity. Yeah. And so 40 players. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, do you remember coming down?
I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly never really paid attention to how many people I inspired in a way. Like, I always just worked on for myself.
Yeah.
I always just played, had fun, and going back and seeing those little moments was just, it was unreal to me. Yeah. It was amazing. I was really happy feeling.
And that was the time where Toms without socks was in fashion. You were wearing Toms.
I was wearing Toms
without socks.
My style was really it's questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happens. You're there now, and now you're post World Cup. What are you looking for? You're trying to become a professional player. I'm assuming. Solidify your position to be a pro athlete. What are the options? What happens right there? Like, what's the process like?
So I come back and I decided right away, I really want to become professional. I want to go pro. And I had Galaxy reach out to me. And I went to Galaxy. We went to MLS Cup. And they told me, you know what, we're going to sign you in about a year and a half. But you got to play academy for a year and a half. And we're going to get you a homegrown contract. Mm-hmm. So I just decided not to. What's
a homegrown contract? Like, you pay with the academy?
Academy. It's just a homegrown player, like, one of their own.
Is there benefits to that, or?
Not really. It's just that's what they used to call it. Yeah, homegrown contract. And I said no. I really wanted just to become pro right away because I wasn't going to school or working. I wasn't doing anything. I was just at home being a bum.
Yeah.
And
you were training still, though, right?
I was training, yes, on my own.
You weren't playing with anybody. You were
Nobody. Yeah, nobody.
How long were you not playing for?
What was it like? Maybe like a month.
Okay, you're just kind of training, trying to figure out what are you gonna do next.
So after that, Chivas USA called me. They said, "Hey, you know what? Like, we heard about your story. We heard about you wanting a homegrown contract. We could get it to you in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to play reserves, play a couple games. You'll be playing reserve games. You're going to be, part of the first team, and you're going to have that contract." I said yes. Went to academy, killed it, played really good. Playing reserves, did excellent, did really good. And they kept pushing that date from 6 months to
get the homegrown contract. So you weren't even getting paid, right?
I wasn't getting paid. No, I wasn't getting paid. I was just training. I mean, it was a good level, reserves. It was a really high level from being I was 17 years old, so I was like really young, and yeah. After that, one of the academy coaches, assistant coach, he reached out to me. He said, I know you want to become professional. I have an agent, and he could help you out. So I reached out to the agent. He said, you know what, like, I have this team. This team just made it to first division. It's a good team. It's in Mexico, Tijuana.
And what'd you think when you
right
hit
away?
Tijuana?
No.
Why?
Just because of everything, all the outside noise of being dangerous, cartels and
all that kind. You just don't want. You don't want to deal with that.
And I also had that past experience of going to Mexico to play for Tigres, and I went to Dallas Cup with Tigres. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like the.
It just didn't
the
feel
vibe.
like
I
you.
didn't like me. Yeah.
Culturally, it just wasn't. It wasn't hitting.
No, and it wasn't nothing like it wasn't on my plans to play in Mexico. So they convinced me. They were like, you know what? Fine, let's do it for a week. We went for a trial just to see. Came back, said no.
What was your dad thinking at that point?
What was it?
Well, your dad. Because I know your dad, he wasn't your agent in particular, but your dad had a lot of influence in what you were doing, I'm assuming.
So my dad was he was telling me to do it.
He was like, it's an opportunity, is what he was saying.
Just the money wise wasn't. It was I was gonna get paid 10,000 pesos.
10,000 pesos,
which is back then was
like $200.
No, like around $600.
Like 600. Oh, because it changes, right?
It changes, yeah.
So but
the peso used to be 11.
Yeah, now it's like 20, I think.
20
right?
something, yeah.
So $500 to $600 every so often, every
month.
So $100 a week.
So I would they let me stay in Casa Club. So a bunch of like just players from different divisions. And
you stay there for free, right?
For free, got food for free, and getting paid. I chose to go there because I had no other option, to be honest with you, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Okay.
I started with the U20s. After that, I was training with first division. I debuted. I played Copa. I played, a bunch of important games. And Tijuana just became a home to me.
Yeah, you liked it.
I loved it.
What'd you like about Tijuana?
Just the environment that you eat, breathe, sleep soccer. You're just always thinking about soccer, and the fanatics, they were just amazing.
The Xolos Squinkles, right? The guys with the red and black flags. They
do a little... crazy fans. And the first year, I was lucky to be part of the first team, and that's when we won the
Clausura, right?
La Liga.
La Liga, right? You guys won it with who was your coach? Turco Mohamed.
Yeah.
How was Turco Mohamed? How is he as a coach? Like, how is he as a person?
One of the best coaches. Ever.
What makes him different?
He cares about the player. He instead of him, yelling at us and and demanding. It was just more like bringing us all together as a family. You know, I remember every week we had asado. You know, we
like Argentino asado.
cook, cook. Everybody after practice stay for hours. You know, we had that freedom of just leaving whenever we wanted. Everybody from 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds to like 35-year-olds all together, same table. We became a family, and that family was just reflected in the field.
And that's just it's so important because you're a young player. So you're telling me experienced player. So like, what's one player that you could say that you could kind of mention right now and be like, you know what, that guy he's a good leader. He's a good example. He leads by example. You kind of wanted to be around, like, you know, you kind of saw as a role model. What's one player that you think?
Fernando Arce. Fernando Arce. He played my position. So, you know, I was always just alert and just saying exactly what he did, like, you know, mimic everything he did.
He played for such a long time too. He had a long career.
Played with the Mexican national team. He played for Santos.
Yeah.
You know, he's a really big time player in Mexico. So he helped me a lot. He gave me little pointers, you know.
He could hit the ball pretty well too, right? He has a really good. And then that's awesome that you have Fernando Arce. And going back to Turco Mohamed, so he's not really of a screamer. He's not a yeller. He's more.
No.
He's very calm.
Very calm. Obviously, like everyone knew, like when it was time to work, like he was work. Yeah.
How involved is he? You know, like, because you know how some coaching have a staff and they just kind of like let the staff do the thing. Is he very involved or?
Not really. He usually just, you know, if he sees little details, he'll stop the play and then he'll come to the player and be like, you know what, like, do this. Like, kind of get the big picture. Like, okay, you see the ball over there. What can you do to make it better? Okay, open up. Create space. Little details like that, but not so much screaming. Like, you know, you have those coaches of just, hey, like screaming and
like Coach Bobby and Orlando Brenes and BG.
Yeah, Brenes was just known by like just screaming, screaming the whole time.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a great guy. He's honestly, he's one of the reasons why I chose Bell Gardens, because I was supposed to go to private school, Saint John Bosco.
Oh, okay. So you were getting a scholarship because you were good enough to get a scholarship.
Yeah, from middle school, they offered me a full scholarship.
Oh, okay, we didn't even get to that. So you ended up playing at Bell Gardens High School 1 year, right? And you went because for that reason. You played for Coach Orlando Brenes and Coach Bobby, right?
Yeah. How
was that experience? Like, how was it playing for BG? And I really emphasize the fact that, you know, BG has tons of passion for the sport. You know, it was a really good program, you know, back in the day with Orlando Brenes and Bobby. Very well respected. Like, how was that, you being a freshman and playing with all these older guys and making the varsity team? Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's crazy because I, you know, all my friends were trying out for freshmen.
Yeah, Frosh. Yeah.
And I wanted to play with them. I didn't think I was gonna play varsity, and one day Brenes was like, you know what, like, you know how he cusses a lot, like, oh, you're gonna play for the varsity team. I don't care what you say. And
he's like, you're good enough.
You're good enough. Yeah. And you know, I started playing with them, big guys. Back then, the players were just, you know, they looked like they were 40 years old.
I know. And can you name some of the players? Like, who are the players?
So you have Mortar, Oscar, you have Pina, you have Jonathan Contreras, you have Jonah.
Yeah.
What else? You have this guy named Bolas.
Just the big guys.
Big guy. He used to be football. He used to play football.
He used to play American football and just big dude.
Yeah, Gio Salazar. Who else? Toro.
Were these guys pick on you because you're like a freshman?
Because
those guys are brutal,
in the beginning,
right?
It was just like, oh, he's little, we're gonna pick on him. But later on, they saw like, okay, he's really good, and they kind of like put me under their wing and, you know, took care of me. And honestly, I wish I would have played more years. That year was just amazing. It was just one of a kind. It was just that experience of getting that high school experience was just honestly amazing to
Probably
me.
one of your favorite moments.
Yeah, just seeing my friends, all my friends from middle school, in the bleachers cheering you on was just something different.
So you played, you played for Dorados, Atlante, Xolos, national team, and like one of your favorite experiences is playing for BG with all your friends, just like watching you in the bleachers. That's
Honestly, yeah. Just we play CIF. We won league. That team was.
You guys lost
We lost in the semifinal against Santa Ana, I believe.
You guys lost to Santa Ana?
Santa Ana.
I have a lot of Santa Ana friends, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be picking on me for this.
Yeah, we lost in PKs. During the game we had a.
Santa Ana had a really good team.
They had a really good team, and I think they won it that year.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
And so what happened with how'd you guys lose? Like, tell me about a little bit about the game, that semifinal game against Santa Ana. MBG, was it MBG?
No, it was over there in Santa Ana.
At the bowl, was it? They played.
I believe so.
They played like at a Santa Ana bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the game was really a tough game. It was a hard game. Yeah. We had a PK. What was it like? In the 70th minute, 80th minute.
It's like 80 minutes. Yeah, it's towards the end then.
Towards the end, yeah, they fouled me on the box and
you take it.
I take the ball and I'm like determined that I'm gonna take the PK. And one of the players.
Who was his name?
It was Gio, but it was
Gio Lopez.
No, it was Gio Salazar.
Okay.
Gio Salazar. So he was already a senior his last year. He told me, hey, like it's my last year. Let me take it.
You're like,
he like, you know what? Here, I'm not gonna,
go back and forth.
So he took it. He missed.
Oh, okay.
And we tied the game. We go to PKs and we missed one, and then they scored all of them, and then the last one it was me, and I missed. I hit the pole.
Okay.
And
it was done.
Done. That was my high school experience.
That's really nice, and thank you for that, because obviously we're trying to motivate a lot of kids from our area, not only Bell Gardens, but for you to share that experience that kids could get something like that in our community. And I think we need to go back to having our kids and our players want to represent BG. Like really, I think it's a really special moment to do that.
Yeah,
it's more like a brotherhood almost. I think.
Honestly,
like I think you and we had never met prior to, but I feel like I've known you for quite some time, and you we connect very well. We're from the same place, and it's just like we just connect. It's almost like a brotherhood. I could connect from anybody from every year. It could be the newer years or the older years, and it's the same thing. Just like nothing. It just kind of sparks up. So that's really nice. I want to go back to Xolos. So you're in Tijuana. Playing for the under 20s, playing for the first team, bouncing a little bit back and forth, getting like some minutes in Copa MX. It's one of the craziest experiences you had in Tijuana, I guess, because you said, you were a little bit nervous, going into Tijuana because of the whole like attention of violence and all that kind of stuff. Did you ever see that in Tijuana?
Never. Just in the beginning, never really put myself out there. It was always
very low key.
Never, that's what they say. Like if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, something you're gonna see stuff. Yeah. Obviously, never really put myself in that situation. So crazy, because we were playing the I believe semifinal or semifinal.
For the under 20s?
Under 20s. We were playing for Leon. Against Leon. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And after the game, it was 3-4 of us. So we wanted to go back to the hotel and get some grub in. And everybody wasn't ready yet.
Did you guys win?
We won. Yeah, we won. I believe it was 2-0.
Is that's the goal that you told me about, right? That's you scored a goal.
Yeah, I scored a goal on that game.
I remember you told me semifinal you scored a goal. So let's just watch it real quick so that we could kind of show it on the screen too, so people know what we're talking about. Yeah. Because I think it's a heck of a goal. It's just on my iPhone, but I think It's this one, right? I don't think I can get
Yeah.
TV, but this one right here.
Yeah.
You pick it. You pick their pocket, half field. You just shoot it. You see the keeper. That's a really nice goal.
Yeah, almost half field.
Yeah.
That was one of the best goals I've ever
Stevie
scored.
Beckham. Right there. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that game clearly. When the game
That's
started.
the first leg?
That was the second leg.
Oh, so you guys are to the final.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. So you score the goal. You're feeling good. You're gonna go get some grub.
Yeah. What
happens?
So this coach he says, you know what, I have my personal car. I could take you guys to the hotel. That's fine. We go. We get that permission to go. We go, and red light. We're in a car.
Yeah.
A Mustang, really nice Mustang, pulls next to us, and their window was on the back seat of my friend's window.
You were in the front.
I was in the front. I was in the passenger seat, and my friend, it was a girl, and my friend rolls down the window, and he says, "Oh, hey, mami, ¿dónde vas a ir? ¿A dónde vas?
Yeah.
Dame tu número." She looks at us and she kind of nods and smiles, takes off, right? Didn't think much of it, We start laughing, whatever, and then there's a car, a black car, quick, goes fast, chasing her. There's another light. The car gets next to her, and they roll down their windows. They're talking. So my coach is maybe that's their security. So we go on the side of them, and then we take off, and then they caught up to us and they cut us off, pointing AKs on us. And just
how many guys?
It was about 5 guys.
All pointing AKs, blocked you guys off, pointing right at the gun, pointing right at your guys' car.
Yep.
What'd you think in that moment?
We fucked up that we're gonna die. We're gonna die. Yeah, it was. My heart dropped. It was just crazy. Crazy. From going to playing one of an important game semifinal to
scoring a goal, a banger, a half field goal,
and then putting myself in this situation from somebody else was just you know what, I shouldn't even be here. And luckily we had all our Xolos gear, so we were.
You guys tell them who you guys were.
We play for Xolos. We play for Hank.
Hank is the owner of Caliente, right?
Caliente, and they made some calls, and they kind of released us. They thought that was me, the one that because you were told in the front. Or something. Yeah, and I was I didn't want to say it was my friend because I'm not gonna snitch on him.
Hey,
I wasn't gonna point and be like, "Hey, take him. That's him."
Take him.
And then my friend just grew a pair, and he was like, "Fui yo," all scared, yeah, shaking. His finger was shaking.
It was
it was me.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, so that experience
was
just crazy. So after that, it was just for me. It was just never again.
Game and just go home.
Straight home.
Damn, and so yeah, you're in Tijuana. That happens to you. Why the move to Dorados?
So I got hurt. I tore my meniscus, and I was recovering from it, and one of the U20 coaches went to Dorados, and he was gonna be the head coach, which is Diego. I forgot his name. Diego. Okay. And he invited me. He was like, you know what, I see you in my project. I really want you to come, and I know that you're recovering from an injury. I want you there. And it was all about that minutos de menor. So
they had to get a certain amount of minutes for younger players. So they wanted
me to give them those minutes. So I started and started scoring goals. Started scoring. I believe I scored 5 or 6 goals that season. It was that season was a okay season. We didn't make it to playoffs, and but the first season for me was just for me,
it was like a breakout season. Like I'm getting playing time.
That level of Ascenso was just, every player has to go through Ascenso in a way because you gain experience. You gain.
It's much different, right? The game,
from
the style.
First Division to Ascenso, yes, it's more faster.
So that's a difference. It's faster, more aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good because you guys because First Division has higher quality players. It's a little bit slower, more technical.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, in Mexico is just technique. A lot of technique there. Being smart on positioning yourself to where a player is not going to reach you, and you could do, receive the ball and right away pass it. Always looking, especially for my position as a midfielder, it was just that, putting yourself in positions that nobody's going to come and try to get the ball. You open up, you already see who is open, you receive it and then pass.
Just
quick. And getting that aggressiveness of Ascenso was just
key.
Is key, yeah.
Okay, so I know a little bit of what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like never put myself out there. After what I experienced in Tijuana, I was always really low key. I was always just doing my thing, going out to eat and then just coming back. And
what's your favorite spot? What's your favorite food in Culiacan?
Mariscos. This is marisco aguachiles.
Aguachiles?
One of the best aguachiles ever.
Where would you go? Any particular spot you want to shout out?
I don't remember the spots, but I think all the spots are honestly
really good.
Just fresh seafood.
Perfect. Did you go to La Lomita, right?
La Lomita, yeah.
A nice place there.
Yeah.
And then Chitomateros play a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever meet some of the players? Like, was there any connection between like the Dorados team and the Tomateros team, or was it more...
Later on? It was a little connection. I believe when we won the league, they won the league as well.
Did you guys throw like a little party or get together or something?
No. It was separate, but
okay.
Yeah. So our second season, I go on a loan to Dorados for a year, just a year. I do my 6 months. And then my second 6 months is up.
You guys won the Ascenso. You won the Ascenso with Culiacan. You're a starter. You're playing constantly. You're one of the best players in Culiacan. You guys are going to the top division. Did Culiacan want to keep you?
Yeah, they wanted me to stay and be part of their team, but my contract was over with Dorados, so I had to go back to.
So how does that work? Because did you really want to stay in Dorados once you went up to First Division?
Honestly, it was either or. I wasn't really
pushing for one or the other.
Because I love Tijuana. Tijuana for me was
like your home,
my home, and Dorados, Culiacan, Sinaloa was just something that I was so getting used to at the moment. So I was just
You're down to go to Tijuana.
To play, yeah. The people there were already they already knew who I was, so it was just, I just kind of want to stay here, and Tijuana was like, you know what, yeah, you gotta come back, just because I played a really good tournament season, they wanted me back. So. And
how long did you have in your contract with Tijuana at that point in time?
I had a year left.
A year left. So you have 1 year left. So then. Who's the coach in Tijuana at that point?
Romano.
What happened to Turco? Yeah.
Turco was already. I think he was already with America.
America.
Yeah.
They took him, right? They took him, and he didn't even get sacked from Xolos.
No. He decided to leave, step away.
Okay, so then now you're in Xolos, Romano, right?
Yeah.
I think he's at Puebla right now. Mazatlan, I think.
He was at Puebla, but he's
anymore.
Not coaching right now. Yeah.
So he has Xolos. Does he ask you personally, hey, I want you to be part of this project?
So not at the moment. He was barely joining. When I was joining, he was joining as well. So we did preseason, and honestly, back then the preseason was really hard for me. Just kind of like that experience, getting that experience, and being around those type of players.
Yeah.
But going from Ascenso to First Division helped me a lot in growing as a player and as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to adjust more easier. So it was just they gained respect. Like they gave me the respect that I deserve. So it wasn't much of picking on me and like they shave your head when you first go to
First division.
first division. And
did they shave your head?
No,
then?
not the second time. No.
The first time.
The first time they did.
They
yeah.
did. Did you like it or?
I hated it. But it was part of the.
Everybody was there, just fucking laughing and just.
Yeah. It was, after dinner. And you had to actually wear that haircut for like a week, I think.
They would custom it, right?
They
would like I had that in college too. We did. It's hazing in a way, but
yeah. So me being that person, like quiet person, was just like kind of like shy away and didn't really like.
You're just kind of like, oh, I'll take it, whatever. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah. So the second time around coming to Tijuana was just like easier for me, and I did really good in preseason, really good, and the coach spoke to me and said, you know what, like Romano said, like, you know what, I really want you to be part of this team. I really want you to be a key player, and keep doing what you're doing. You're doing excellent, and I started playing reserves and Copa, and
waiting for your call up to kind of just go up. And at that point you were like what, 20 maybe?
I was about 20 years old.
All right, so then you're playing that, and what happens at Xolos? Did I think you were never able to solidify your position there, right, as a starter in the first team?
No, never.
And why do you think that was?
So it's a lot about bringing in foreigner players, Argentinians, Colombians, Ecuadorians, and it was one of the reasons why a Mexican player or a person from the academy team wasn't able to show their full potential, because that you give everything, you give your all, and I don't know where they bring a player from a second division from Argentina, and they pay him really good money, and because they want to sell jerseys, he has to play in front of you, and
so that limits your minutes.
Exactly.
Limits your development.
Exactly.
So then that happens. Are there any other players like that you know of that were very limited that you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave because of this? Anybody now that is currently playing that you played with in Xolos, that's like, you know what, I left and it went better for them elsewhere or something?
So if you see Luis Chavez, Luis
Chavez scored the one of the best goals in the World Cup, right?
Yeah, he plays for Pachuca. So he from Xolos, he went to Pachuca.
Was he not getting playing time in Xolos? The same thing.
He was, but not as much. And he made that good decision of switching teams. And if you see Club Pachuca, is like they give minutes to their young players, their academy.
They have a lot of good young players right now, right?
That's where Chucky,
Gutierrez, Pizarro. There's just other kid right now. He's like a forward right now in Pachuca.
Hector Herrera was there too.
Herrera. There's a kid right now. He went to the World Cup. Forget his name. But he's in Pachuca right now too. They have a lot of young talent there. Yeah. So he did that then.
So he did that move and
he's playing consistently. He's probably gonna go overseas soon, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. I think he's good enough.
He's a really good player.
Yeah. And he's one of your friends?
He's one of my friends, yeah.
Someone that you grew up playing with in the under 20s?
Under 20s, yeah.
And how is he as a person, as a player?
He's a funny person, chill person. I remember we used to, we used to all live in Casa Club together. So we had that access to that backfield, of just we'll go get the ball and just go kick around, play two-touch, play, tennis, soccer tennis, and it's just like you'll see his potential there, his free kicks, his left
just had a left leg.
Natural.
Who taught him that?
Juan Arango.
Oh yeah, Juan Arango's Venezolano, right? Played at Leverkusen.
Yeah, he's one of the best free kick takers out there.
Probably ever, right?
Yeah, he's.
I won't put him next to Juninho, but maybe like here like from a South America, America, like I remember that guy's leg was just like he scored a lot of goals in Germany.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was part of he came to Tijuana and he kind of took him under his wing and
that's amazing. He was a captain, right? Arango?
Yeah, he was.
And what was Arango like? Quiet. He seemed like a quiet dude.
Super quiet, reserved guy. Yeah, really didn't talk much.
That's cool. So that happens at Xolos, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting playing time. You go to Atlante.
So crazy about like me always getting like what happened with Dorados of a coach knowing me from Tijuana, wanting me to go over there to be part of his project. Same thing for Atlante. It was Eduardo Fentanes.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of the Xolos too. He went as a coach
to Atlante.
He draft was the MLS draft. The MX draft was there and
you were a free agent at that point?
No, I was still with Xolos.
You still up? You had like what 6 months, 1 year to the contract left?
Yeah, like I think a year.
Like a little bit less than a year.
Less than a year. So they called me. They called me the La Directiva de Xolos. We want to send you on a loan.
To Atlante.
I wasn't expecting that, to Atlante, and they told me, hey, well, we really want to give you more minutes, and Eduardo Fentanes is asking for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go to Atlante, Cancun?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what, that's fine. I thought about it, like Cancun,
Well, yeah, I'll do it.
More money, obviously. And
what was your salary at that point? Like, what did if you don't mind me asking, what did Atlante offer you? Like,
so first they always go, low. They always go low, and we ended up settling for like close to 100K
pesos or
pesos
a month.
Which was
how much was that?
Close to
like 50K,
like 15K, 16K a month.
15. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Mexico pays well, right?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay, so then going 16K, and you go to Atlante, you get a pretty decent salary, 60K a month. What happens there in Atlante? How was your experience there? How long was it? How long was it long?
So I spoke to the coach right after the draft. He said, you know what, like, I want you as my starter. I want you as my star of the team. I see you helping us win the championship.
To go on to promote, right?
To promote.
So there you go again.
Again.
You're like, you gotta grind it out again. You gotta help another team promote.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he
and sorry to interrupt, Stevie.
Yeah.
Dorados was never an option once Atlante approached you.
No, never.
Never approached you. Nothing.
Never. No.
Would you like that? Would you have liked them to?
Honestly, yes. Honestly, I like I said, I grew
fond with the city.
Yeah, with the city. Yeah, I would have loved to go back.
To go back to that kind of that point.
At that point.
All right. So sorry. Continue. So now you're in Atlante, right? Yeah. They expect you to help them get promotion again. Another team that's promoting. How does that experience go? How does that year go with Atlante?
So preseason was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Cancun.
At Cancun.
Everyone goes there, right?
Yeah. So the coach was even like, it was right Christmas and just the holidays, and they were already at preseason. He gave me permission to stay Christmas and New Year's, and with my family here. And he was giving me those those little things for me to feel like
home, comfortable.
Comfortable.
He was letting you come over, see your family and all that.
Yeah, and so after New Year's I went, and I started preseason amazing. Honestly, it was really good. Scored a lot of goals. First game against Necaxa. we play at Necaxa starter, you know, and we are losing 1-0. I was playing decent. I was playing pretty good. Like, if you see the game, the commentators are saying, "Oh, you know, he's the only one that's, you know, trying to do something." And second half comes in, he takes me out. Halftime, takes me out.
That the coach that you had at Xolos, right?
Yeah, he takes me out. After that, I never played again.
Never played for Atlante again.
Never. I played Copa, just Copa.
Wow.
No league.
Did he give you an explanation for that? Never talked to you.
It
Nothing?
was just coach. It was a coach's decision.
But I don't understand that. So there's coaches, you know, they're prepared, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in these preparations they tell you that communication is important. Never followed up with you in training. Never nothing.
Never. And I was that type of player that was just reserved and just, you know, okay. But, you know, everyone reaches at that point of just kind of like getting frustrated of not, you know, you're training, you're the best player in training. Everybody else tells you, hey, you're supposed to start. You should start.
Yeah.
And not even getting called up to the game, going on the bleachers, it's just.
Oh, you were not even getting called up.
Not even the bench.
Never an explanation. Never nothing.
Never. So that, as a player, for me,
it was just
mentally drained me, and I started losing the love and confidence of the game because of that, and yeah. So they just played a 6 months. Around 6 months.
And then Xolos, after that contract's over.
That was it. Xolos never reached out. I was done with everybody. My contract was over.
You didn't try, like, kind of reaching out, like trying to trial somewhere?
Well, my agent later on, he reached out. He was like, you know what, like, just take a minute. You know, at that time I was expecting a baby. You know, and I kind of want to take time for myself and enjoy.
It's a lot of time, man. Like, people think that, oh, you know, like, he was there already, you know, whatever. But, you know, you just keep trying or whatever. But people need to understand that you've been prepping this your entire life, and it's constant hard work. I mean, you say it easy when you see big players, world-class players like Messi, Ronaldo, like Toni Kroos, Luka Modric doing this for such a long time. And, like, they're rare, you know, they're rare diamonds. For someone to be dedicating so much time to this when they're 13, 12, now you're like, you know, you're a young adult, you're like, what, 21, 22 at that time, right? Like, mentally it's draining.
So a lot of people think that soccer players have it easy. It's not. It's always a mental game. It's always stressful. It's always, you know, dealing with everything. Playing time. Because you never know where you're gonna be in 6 months, a year. You know, you can never settle. Oh, I'm just gonna have my family and just live here and play here. No, you're not. You know, a Messi, a Cristiano. When not even them, you see, like, who would have thought that Messi would have, you know, leave Barcelona?
Yeah.
It's like, you never know, or Cristiano Ronaldo. You never know when is your time to move on. So it's every day being stressed, and, you know, it's draining mentally. And for me, it was just mentally draining. Honestly wanted to step away from the game. You
kind of want to get all the noise, and you were just kind of tired of it.
And, you know, my daughter was born, and I was just enjoying her. Later on, my agent reached out. He was like, hey, I have a team at Dorados, Sweden.
How long ago after was that?
Maybe 3 months, 4 months. I wasn't playing. I was actually playing for the local team here in Bell Gardens.
Just kind of playing like Sunday league.
Just to you know, stay fit, kind of, and just, you know,
do something.
And so I go to Deja Force, and it was good. They offered me, you know, a contract, and it wasn't the contract that I was looking for. You know, I was you know, I had a family already, so I kind of like,
you needed to kind of focus on that.
So that's when I just decided, you know what, I'm not.
You're not gonna pursue this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think it's good that you highlight it, and people, I think, we need to understand that, like you said, they think it's like, oh, you have, a little bit of the fame, the money, the center of attention, and all that kind of thing. It's easy, but it's not easy. It's a constant battle with like playing time, constant battle with when is my contract over? Where am I gonna play? Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? And the constant pressure that comes with it, and the expectations, not only from like your friends and family, but from your peers, from your coaches. So it's really nice that you share your story. What is next for Stevie? Like what do you want to do now? Like soccer, whatever happened, it didn't work out as like you initially had thought of, right?
Yeah.
What do you see yourself doing now in the future?
Just giving back to community, to players, youngsters. I started this private coaching. I do privates, based over there in Palmdale.
Mm-hmm.
So I do, I train from 5-year-olds to 25-year-olds, college players, and it's something that I never thought I was gonna do. But just seeing, those little things of seeing little kids improve daily with you is just like, for me, it's a good feeling. And get back to soccer.
Yeah.
Because soccer at the end of the day gave me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a lot, and staying fully away, I can't.
You always have to kind of come back to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So. Nice. No, it's a really good story that you have, and I really hope like the kids that are watching really kind of take note of it. And I did want to ask you a few questions before we wrapped up. I know we want to try out these nice little snacks.
Yeah.
Before we do, so who's the most famous person in your contacts?
So I have like Luis Chavez.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
He's very famous now. The World Cup. Yeah.
Henry Martin.
Henry Martin La Bomba.
La Bomba. Yeah. So I have that, but like the most famous person now, like around me, is honestly Refi, Alex. He's a great guy. He's based on Palmdale.
Palmdale?
Yeah.
Nice. So this is called the Refi, right?
Refi, yeah.
So throw this here. So what are these? These are snacks.
They're snacks, yeah. So this is like the rim, like the chili rim for like micheladas and stuff.
Okay.
And this is Gushers. So it's
Gushers, I love Gushers.
Yeah, it's the original wet candy.
The original wet candy.
Yeah,
and what's their Instagram? Refi Snacks?
Refi Snacks.
Refi Snacks. So go ahead
Snacks.
and I'll put it in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead. So we'll try them?
Yeah, for sure.
Which ones are the Gushers?
Gushers is these right here.
All right. So you try one, I try one.
Okay. Yeah, you just gotta get dirty.
Gotta get nice and dirty?
Yeah.
All right. Like a nice little spice, nice little good spice
to it.
Some of my other fingers before you get some with these. Because I didn't get a lot. That's good. And Refi Snacks, another important partner that we have now, Refi Snacks. So, of course, supporting each other, and it's really good snacks. You should check out their Instagram. We'll put them up on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
But we wrapped it up with the Refi Snacks. But Stevie, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, your story. It's like very, very compelling, and I wish you nothing but the best. And I'm glad that you've decided to help us out with Bell Gardens Football Club as we continue to grow. We just want to, solidify our partnership and really work together. And we could get to that point where we could bring you down here for the full time. Then we'll go ahead and we'll do it. I think your story is very compelling, and I think it could really connect with our kids, and that's what it's for. It's a service to our community.
No, thank you for having me. Like I said, it was an honor. I'm honestly proud of you and excited for for what's coming for Bell Gardens and the community. I know you're doing really good helping the community out, helping those young players dream.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course, and thank you so much for that.
Yeah.